Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good evening. Welcome.
What's up?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this edition of B-Hawk Live. Usually you would see Dirty kicking off this show, but he took a back seat. We're going to take a hike. So we're going to take a hike. I'm kicking off this show tonight. I happen to be available. And then I got a call from Ed the man that said, yeah, can you fill in with Dirty? Because we kicking them to the curb tonight. And I said, you know what? I got some time. I come in and we'll have a little bit of fun. He might kick in at some point, but you know how he gets in. He has that little master key that he just seems to just keep putting out, putting on and he gets in. But he's actually handling some business.
Steve Spurrier ain't here.
Steve Spurrier.
Steve Spurrier ain't here.
Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier. Steve Spurrier. But welcome to B-Hawk Live, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, Daddy Ed and Amanda have joined me tonight. Oh my goodness, every time I say we want Dirty, we want that. That's okay. Hey, he'll be here when he gets here. So you stuck for the time being. Steve Spurrier.
Danucci.
They're like Danucci. And my favorite, hot water. That's my favorite.
Hot water.
See, look, Ed, they love you, man. Ed is a legend, man.
Okay, Brett. All right, Brett, I got you. What am I?
All right. As we talked a little bit about it on the X-Fan show yesterday, DC walked into St. Louis and stole their cookies, and they couldn't do anything about it. So 28-20.
Master called and wants his cookies back.
Yes, it did. Hey, we got Marcos from Dallas kicking in on the show tonight. So welcome. Right. Yes, Brett. The DC did just run for another touchdown. They sure did. I mean, I cannot lie that DC's running game did everything they were supposed to do. Everything was clicking. And
listen, my dad called me, right? My dad called me the next day and he goes, listen, Amanda, I am still depressed. I was upset over this.
I was in such a funk on Sunday, you would not believe. It was such a big game,
and they did show up.
They didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the DC fans. I can't
when you have 10 flags just in the first half. What? Those were legit flags too. As much as listen, I was one of those people that was like really like with the flags already. But when you watch it back, those flags were on point. The rest were right. They were.
I know a lot of people were upset with the flags and things like that. There was a few calls I felt like, there should have been that. Come on, man! Like it was kind of tic-tac.
Well, the one with Prohl, yes. I agree.
Yeah.
Like that should have been a flag in my opinion.
Okay. If you say so.
I rewatched the game probably at least 3 times. Once I got over Depression Sunday.
We'll make a shirt over that, Dad. That'll be the next shirt. Depression Sunday.
Yeah.
Seriously?
I will say that the game looked a lot better on TV than the way I felt in the stadium, because I felt like DC had control of that game pretty much the whole way.
Yeah, and I think that was the main thing, was when we talked about it on the X-Fan show, is that was going to be the key for the Battlehawks, was to stop the run. That's it. Stop the freaking run. Stop it. Don't let. And it was hard because you did not know who was going to get the ball at certain points. You know, if Te'amu was going to keep it. You didn't know if De'Aaron King, when he came into the game, if he was going to keep it. And you also didn't know if Abram Smith would get the ball. And even when they chose not to run, you had Lucky Jackson for DC making plays himself. So they had it very deceptive. Great game plan. Great job by Fred Koss, who's offensive coordinator for DC Defenders. And they knew what they were getting when, especially, do you remember? Let me say this first. Do you remember there was a post on IG? I don't know if anybody's seen it. It was Jordan Te'amu and Fred Koss. They were standing together, and he said, "Welcome to the DC Defenders." When that happened, there was something special that was going to happen from that point on. And he's working with a great coordinator here. And this DC Defenders team is going to be tough. I know right now it seems like the road to the championship in the North is going to be through DC.
They just don't. They're not going to beat themselves. It's like they come into the game with a game plan and they just execute and wait for you to make the mistake. And when you do, they're going to pounce on it.
Exactly.
I got breaking news for you, though.
You got some for us?
I do. A little birdie told me that the birdie will be playing on Saturday.
Which birdie?
Injured. Mm-hmm. Atkins will be playing on Saturday, everyone.
Kevin
an ankle
Atkins
injury. Kevin Atkins will be playing this Saturday. That's not a speculation. That is a guarantee.
Yeah. You heard that from the man himself, right?
We gotta have our Hall of Famers playing. That's for sure.
That's right. Are you in the Lou Hall of Famer, right?
You in the Lou Hall of Famer, baby.
He's the first inductee. Is that right?
That's right, and not just anybody's going to get into the U Crew. So,
and exciting news, this guy, right here, and
that guy
will be at the championship game.
Oh, you headed to San Antonio?
B-Hawk Live is officially going to have a show live from the XFL Bowl. We haven't decided yet whether it'll be on Friday night or Saturday, but we will definitely be having a live show from the bowl. Can't wait.
Find us on the River Walk on Friday.
Yeah, we might do it from the River Walk, or we might be on the water. We might be on the boat floating around. Who knows?
All right. Hey, just recapping back from what happened on this past week. You can see the ticker at the bottom. You can see what happened with we got some of the stats out there for the game against DC. Everything Battlehawks, of course, because you know this is B-Hawk Live, and that's how we do here with the X-Fan crew. One of the things I saw in that game was we got to see some different receivers getting some action. We got Steven Mitchell, who had a 50-yard reception for a touchdown. And even George Mitchell had probably one of the best catches so far in the XFL with his one-hand left-handed grab in the end zone. So there was pluses to it. And as you've seen at the bottom, there were many tackles for loss. But the one thing that they could not do against the defenders was get to the quarterback. That was a difficult part. No sacks, no interceptions. And but they were able to get at times to stop the run, especially in the first series of the game. I thought everything was starting to, click at this point, but it did not happen.
Their running game was on point.
And it wasn't just that we couldn't get any sacks, but there were several times we had them for losses that turned into 3, 4, 5, 7-yard gains that should have never happened. We just had too many missed tackles.
So from what I'm seeing in the chat, must be the Battlehawks should be getting Steve Spurrier.
Stop with that.
Well,
listen,
at least
the noise did not affect Jordan at all.
No,
that whole team. The noise did not affect them.
Kudos to DC in preparation of that game, because it wasn't just the quarterback. They just seemed like the crowd noise didn't affect them at all, whereas Arlington the week before was a totally different story. I don't know whether it was the fan base not bringing it. I don't know if that was the case at all, but it just seemed like DC was unaffected by the crowd noise.
Jordan was prepared for that game. As a matter of fact, I think that was an interview that he did during the game that they asked him, how were you prepared, for this matchup? You knew that the crowd was going to be loud. They said they put speakers to their ears to get themselves prepared, blaring music, and come on, that didn't even faze them. And he said they were going to silent counts. So that helped a lot. And this DC Defender team is the best team in the XFL. And if the Battlehawks is going to have any shot of stopping them, of course, you got to win the division. I mean, you have to get second place in the division, but you got to beat them in DC because they've already swept the season series with those 2 wins.
So, Dad, you know how we were talking about earlier with stats, right? You know how Dirty's a big stats guy, right?
Yep.
So, you know how we were talking about stats. So, earlier you were saying top 3, okay? And how AJ was number 3, okay? So, if he's number 3, then where's Jordan in that? Because, in my opinion, Jordan should be before.
AJ. But when you're talking about MVP, King has got just as big an impact as Ta'amu does.
It's true. And you look at it, it's almost like a collective in this case.
It's a dual thing. Dirty, we got to take advantage of Dirty not being around here. But he wants to talk about Danucci. When you look at total TDs versus total turnovers, Danucci's got 10 TDs. He's got 10 turnovers. I don't care what you say. You can say anything you want about Danucci. When you got just as many turnovers as you do touchdowns, that's not an MVP in my league. So. It's just the way it is. But so if you take Danucci out of the equation, and now that leaves Silvers and AJ, in a way, I can feel what Dirty's saying about AJ, because as much as I want to say AJ is the MVP, sitting at that stadium on Saturday, God, AJ, I just wasn't feeling it, man. It just wasn't happening. Sure, he had the big 50-yard pass in the fourth quarter and got him within a touchdown, but there was too many plays leading up to the fourth quarter that I just thought he'd come up very small. So I can't make an argument for AJ right now.
Guy right here, offensive play calling was atrocious, especially inside the red zone. Pro needs to be head coach, as in Ricky Pro. Ricky Pro being a head coach in this case. I think he, at this point, likes working with the receivers, and he wants them to get better. You got Battlehawks has good weapons here. They have Hakeem Butler. You have a hands guy, and he has a tall guy. You got Darius Shepard that can run, especially he had that 80-yard kickoff return And then also, I see you, Ed. I see you, I promise. Also, adding the Mitchell, Mitchell can be a part of this now, getting a touchdown himself. And then you adding in George Campbell and not to mention Austin Prohl. They have weapons. It's just that they all have to click. And
but
of course,
you got to be able to catch. How about it? You got to be able to catch. What are these people? You got to be able to catch the ball at the same time.
I could probably make everybody happy and say, Ricky Prohl. Maybe you don't make him the head coach, but you could sure make him the offensive coordinator.
I know a lot of people are very unhappy.
The offensive coordinator for the Battlehawks has no imagination at all. He does not do anything at all until he absolutely has to in the fourth quarter. And it's like, come on, dude. You got to open it up. You got to open it up.
So we calling out Bruce Gradkowski is what we doing, right?
Yeah, I mean it's just everybody around me at the game can feel it, right? And when AJ throws that 50-yard touchdown pass to Mitchell, everybody is actually looking at each other saying, where has that been the whole game? We have not stretched the defense the whole game.
Where you at? Where are you at?
It's like, dude, why do we have to be behind all the time before we decide to open things up? Why can't we try to open things up from the get-go and spread the defense out so that we can call our whole offense? It's like we just allow the defense to rein us in the whole game, to where all we have available is 3-yard passes, 4-yard passes. We got to stretch the defense. And when Mitchell caught that bomb, it was like, hallelujah. It's like, where is that? Obviously, he can throw that ball. It's like, I just don't get it. So if Ricky Prohl could bring anything to us, it would be an offensive coordinator.
Okay. All right. Let me see. At this point right now, sitting at 3-2, as you can see, their next opponent down at the bottom is against the Vegas Vipers, Saturday at 6 Central.
Can I just say, it can't always be a Butler Hill Prohl game. I feel like that's how it's been the last 2 games.
I mean, they're trying.
Like Butler Hill Prohl. Like I feel
they're trying. They're trying, but that's what's been open. And if you figure it out, then you got to give what you got to give. You got to give what the defense gives you. And so if that's what they're giving up, you take it. And so
then that's a weak O-line. I'm sorry. If you're going to have 3 people that you're going to have that entire time, that's weak.
But if you're talking about Mitch, you could easily say that
when Amen was playing, where was he?
If you're talking defensive MVP so far through week 5, it would be pretty easy to say that Michael Joseph of the DC Defenders is in the top 3.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So when Mitchell caught that 50-yard touchdown pass in the fourth quarter, who did he beat? He beat Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
When AJ threw that pick in the fourth quarter, when we were trying to go on that final drive to tie things up.
Oh, man.
Mitchell had a step on Joseph.
Oh, man.
And the pass was underthrown. Yeah. And it's like that.
It's true. It is true. I was very upset with how AJ threw that last pass.
To say it was a duck was an understatement. And it was like to have a game of that magnitude come down to a duck at the end of the game when Mitchell had Joseph beat again for the second time in the fourth quarter. To see that in the way it was just That's what led to my depression on Sunday. Was that I don't know.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's how a lot of people in the league felt. I should say Battlehawk fans felt, especially with how oh my God, here he comes. If he coming, because he's coming to defend. He's coming to defend somebody. I already know who it is. But anyway, 28-20 again, the final. There was some, like I said, there's some positive, but that, like I keep saying, the offense has to change. But again, to what me and Amanda were going back and forth on was it should not be just Brian Hill, Hakeem, and Austin Proehl. And if you look at it, the 2 touchdowns didn't come from either of them. There was somebody different. And granted, it was late in the game when it happened, but still, those were the guys that he could find. He was taking what the defense could give him. And like what Ed was saying, is that Michael Joseph can be beat. He's a coverage guy. So he's going to stay in zone. He's not going to go through a lot of one-on-one matchups. Not like my guy over in San Antonio, who can lock up just about any receiver that you put in front of him. So that was the difference. And he tried to do the pump fake, and Mike wasn't biting. Mike did not bite on the pump fake at all. It was like he just threw it, and it was like AJ just threw it right to him. Right to him, man. Come on. So, goodness. I mean, this is he on? Let me see if
I'm just gonna say this: Hageman was not off that game. Our punter was off.
Yeah. I get it. Bringing in one of our fans into the mix, Mr. Bert. Bert, how you doing today, sir? Bert,
what's up, y'all?
Hey.
I just want to say hello, Amanda, and Ed is legend.
Oh.
Like on the next movie of I Am Legend, it will not be Will Smith, it will be Ed.
I love this guy. I don't know him, but I love it.
And Brett's been around for a little bit, but I'm gonna let him talk tonight.
Arlington and Dirty are fantastic. They have hung in and promoted the XFL for years now. I've got the group. They do the podcast and the group and everything. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Arlington and Dirty because they have done a fantastic job trying to keep the fan bases still around during the delay from 2020 to now. And they continue to do a fantastic job by bringing folks on like Amanda and Ed, and we get to see the videos and pictures from a lot of the games that you guys go to. And I had already had plans to go to a few games this year, and I took on a new job about 5 months ago. I'm still trying to make it to San Antonio for the championship game, but I just want to give a shout out to you guys because y'all are doing a fantastic job, everybody. And I hate Dirty's not on here because I'm never nice to him, so I was going to be nice tonight. So it hurts my feelings that he's not on, but look, you know me, Arlington. I'm always sporting some XFL or USFL gear.
I see that. You got some on tonight. The Guardians, they won't play. I know St. Louis will not play them to near the end of the season. And I hope they change the time for that game. I know they got them at 11:30 in the morning. Like, who ready to get up at 8 o'clock for a football game?
I will say, you got a kick-ass logo there. That's for sure.
Yeah, that Guardians thing is that Guardians logo is like, yeah, it's very
man.
nice.
What's so cool now is like everywhere I go, if I'm not at work, which even I wear a XFL and or a USFL hat every day to work. Of course, I have to wear a collared shirt and dress up other than that. But with the receding hairline, they kind of let me get away with the hat.
Don't talk about no receding.
What about
this old man right here?
Yeah, but
see it.
If you've listened to our show at all, you'll know that this is her fault.
Come on, man. I got a receding hairline.
Her fault.
Well, see, I'm already ugly, so I can't really afford the receding hairline. That's the problem. Nobody's perfect, though, you know.
Now,
you can't imagine how many light bulbs I've had to change to try and get the shine off my forehead.
Now, Brett, you're coming on board.
I'm down to a 40 watt.
Okay.
40 watt. Yeah, what's so cool is now I'm in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, but so I'm a big USFL and Stallions fan. We had season tickets. You know, for Birmingham last year, I rented a suite, which was awesome because we got Reed from Marcast, and we got some other people up there that were fans that I got to meet from all over the country. And I'm going to extend that invitation to you guys if y'all do want to come to Birmingham to a game this year and just check it out. Y'all definitely be able to hang out in the suite with us. So
absolutely.
I'm gonna try to go to Memphis and meet Dirty for one of the Showboats games there, but I know it's XFL show and XFL Superior and all that, but
that's pretty tempting, Daja. We might have to.
You don't want to meet
take you up on that off.
What you want to meet Dirty for? You don't want to meet Dirty. He's dirty.
Because look, I've talked to him for years. I might as well meet him. You know.
Right.
Oh, he is a really nice
Your
guy.
Conversation with Dirty is going to be nothing more than Steve Spurrier.
Hey, I love the fact I've got him posting about it now. Now, I'll tell you a quick story. I was at the Birmingham Iron and Orlando Apollos game at Legion Field in 2019. And I knew, I told my wife then that, we don't stand a chance. I said, they're going to just rake us over the coals. But I said, it's going to be fun. We get to, there's a lot of historic games that went on at Legion Field, obviously, college games. And I'm going to tell you what, he is such a great play caller. Now, he's not one of the greatest coaches of all time, but play callers. Then I'm going to tell you what, nobody would have touched Orlando that year if they would have finished the season. He was that good a play caller. And Arlington, he did call all the plays in. And I understand he's older now, and I think he can honestly barely get around. But, there's still – I enjoy watching Wade Phillips on the sidelines. I enjoy watching June Jones. I really like that the Houston Roughnecks offensive coordinator. He's kind of brash, isn't he?
AJ Smith, yeah. AJ Smith does have because he's a what's the word I'm looking for? He's a
protege of June Jones.
Yeah, that's it. He's a protege. That was it, the protege of June Jones. And so he called him out. You know what you expect. And he wanted the challenge, and then they lost the challenge. So that's the main thing. Let me see. Somebody done walked in.
Let me cover the Battlehawks real quick. I'll jump off here. But again, thank y'all for letting me be on, and y'all do a fantastic job.
Stop the show.
Oh, there's Dirty.
Everybody stop. I'm watching the show. I just got back from baseball practice, and I'm watching the show, and I have to say something. I don't care. Hold on. I don't care if it burns bridges because I'm about ready to throw a lighter, pour gasoline, diesel fuel, and I'm about ready to burn it all down. This regime of the XFL and this management regime here in St. Louis is a joke. A 100% a joke. You want to mention us? You want to vaguely mention us on the broadcast about the Battlehawks, that there's been a fan page around since 2020, keeping the buzz alive when your local media hasn't done it, Brian, but you want to take away our interviews because I'm unprofessional, because I cut you off in an interview in 2019 because you were hogging it up and not letting a young girl who was wanting a shot to be a reporter to speak, and I spoke up and cut you off, and you want to hold a grudge? That's cool, man. Hold a grudge because I don't care anymore. I'm still going to support my Battlehawks. I'm still going to support the XFL. But what I'm not going to support and I'm not going to deal with anymore is the bullshit that I have to put up with the XFL and the St. Louis Battlehawk management. Brandon Williams, Brian Saul, Jeff Ottstetler, Janet Dukes. Go email all of them, people. It's their first name dot last name at xfl.com. You want to sit there and go on a TV show and say that we've been all over the buzz in St. Louis, January 24th at the Armory that nobody knew about until I made a video and posted it, until Amanda made a video and posted it? You want to go to Cybergs and say that, people knew about it an hour beforehand, 24 hours beforehand, but we make a video, our little show who's unprofessional, and yes, I am being unprofessional right now, and I don't give two rats' asses. because I'm done. I'm done with the shit. We've been sitting here beating a drum for 4 years. We're credentialed in every other city except St. Louis. 4 years, we beat the drum. You heard Brett say it. We beat the drum for 4 years. For 4 years. We know a lot of stuff that we've never posted. Secret stuff that we never posted. But other people will post the stuff they're not supposed to and get media credentials. We haven't. I could give you guys a lot of stuff and tell you guys a lot of stuff, but I haven't. I know that St. Louis, I know there's been organizations here in St. Louis that has reached out to the Battlehawks, like the Boys and Girls Club and the Matthew Dickey's clubs, and has never heard anything from the league and the Battlehawks. I know that they've reached out, nothing. I know there's been Little League football teams that have reached out to get something. Nothing from you guys. The only thing that you guys got going in the XFL is your football operations. That's the only thing you guys got running good. Your management and your marketing sucks. You got a tailgate that's terrible, that nobody can hear anything. You don't have enough merchandise. Nobody likes your in-house DJs or your game host, your outside DJs and game host, but yet you want to secretly tell people that, oh, we're not going to deal with people who deal with fan shows. This show ain't a fan show. This is a show for the fans. Built for the fans. Because I knew ESPN wouldn't do it. I knew Channel 2 Fox wouldn't do it. I knew Martin Kilcorn wouldn't do it. I knew Frank Cusimano wouldn't do it. Whoever the clown is at Channel 4 CBS, I knew he wouldn't do it either. We don't have a local ABC affiliate, so we did it. We did it way back in 2020. But yet you didn't want to give it to us then because I was unprofessional and cut you off in an interview. Then we got people that work their ass off on this show to get interviews, and then you want to pull those interviews. But no, you don't, because you want to be nice, give us a little bone here and there. So with that being said, I'm tired of your guys' bullshit. You know my phone number. Call me if you want to talk, because I'll tell you how it really is. I'm tired of sugarcoating shit anymore. With that being said, Dirty's done.
Wow.
You know, I was the one that said I was going to be good, and I wasn't going to do anything like that. But you know what? You got to give me 2 more minutes, and then you can kick me off the show.
Give you 2 minutes.
I'm
sitting there, I'm like, I'm floored, man. Like,
but he didn't lie. And that's the thing, you know, Brian Stahl, look, we all know he's a weasel. Look, you guys have what has kept the fan bases around. You know, me with my group, we're up to almost 17,000, and most of them's XFL fans. We're adding USFL fans too. We're the ones that's continuing to promote this stuff. I've leaked some stuff. So what? I don't get paid from them, and I still got inside information. And if I want to, I'm going to continue to leak it. But we're the ones for the last 4 years that has promoted and marketed this league. Period. And it's about time that people like you get some credit for it. I don't want credit. I mean, it would just be nice to get a little bit of damn respect out of these people. I mean, you know, I'm going to stop because Dirty pretty much said everything that needed to be said. But shows like yours, Reed with Mark Cass does a great job. The Player 54 with Michael Lathrop. I could go on and on. But you have ousted and basically pissed on everyone that has continued to promote your league for years now. But yet when I would come after you on social media, well, she didn't like, I'd get a phone call from someone at the main office. Well, she didn't like what you said. Why do you got to say that? Because I'm going to say what I want to say, when I want to say it, and why I want to say it. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. You got to quit doing people like the X-Fan Show, which you made them change the name of their group, Michael Lathrop, and people like that so dirty. Because you know what? You're only 6-7 weeks till your season's over with. Guess who's going to continue to market your product and do it for free? We don't get paid to do this. What is wrong with you people? There was no sense in how you've treated pretty much all of us. Just because we don't want to we're not G-rated or whatever. Look, the fans love this show. The fans love Arlington. They love Dirty. Now they love the legend, Ed. They love Amanda. Everything that they're doing to help you guys. And as opposed to saying thank you or what can we do to help you out, you continue to piss on us. And that look, I got news for you. I know it's an XFL fan show, but I've already met with the USFL folks in Birmingham 3 times. We're starting a booster club from the actual league itself, promoted by the league, and we're going to help out all the other cities create a booster club. And this has all been information that they have shared with us and that we've shared with them, and they were interested in what we had to say. They wrote down, they recorded, we've had meetings, but yet you won't meet with any of your people. You shun them. You won't let any of your players talk to Dirty and talk to Arlington. Brian Stoll, you're an absolute weasel. And you know what? Anybody that's allowing you to do this, they're no better. That's all I got to say. For the love of football.
Thank you, sir. My God. Everybody has a soapbox to get on tonight. I see. Wait a minute. Interesting. Everybody got big chested. I'm gonna want to say I'm impressed with that. Wait a minute. What's going on now? Oh, I think something's happening with our show. My hands are here. You see what that? It must be that. It must be our super producer. That's our super producer in the back doing his thing. So I appreciate that. But you know what? It is crazy how we every game coming in, because it took a lot, folks, for people to even believe back in the product. It took a lot. It took 3 years, and you already knew that folks were shying away from it, right? We knew without question that the ratings were going to decrease because a trust factor was broken. And the trust factor, even though it wasn't their fault, it wasn't our fault, it was because it was gone and we liked it. We liked it. We loved it. And it was taken away from us due to a sickness around the world. But when they decided they were going to come back and do this, trust was going to be broken. A lot of people that liked it then were not going to like it now. But me, for one, I still like it today because, believe it or not, I'm going to be honest. In the 5 weeks that we've had games, they have been a whole lot better on the field, better than 2020. That's just me. There have been a lot of competitive games. There has been a lot of all access. I applaud them for all of that. And we fought for this. We fought for it because we loved it too much. We loved it way too much. And every day we had to knock off with trolls and haters all the time because they saying it's a joke and it will never last. That's what we had to deal with. And we continuously dealing with that because everybody's looking at the numbers and seeing how bad they are. And
but
that's because it's all about the negative now, right? Let me just say this. Let me say thank you to Dirty and Arlington for letting me be a part of this show, and for all the fans for allowing me to be a part of this show too, and for having Daddy Ed on the show too. Yeah.
But you look at Papa G, you look at Dirty, you look at Amanda, working the crowd on the other, I call it the other side of the dome, because I got my group of friends on the other side of the dome that I'm working too. And why are they working the crowd? Why are they doing what they do every week with Broadway Boat Bar? They're promoting the XFL. They're promoting everything great about drawing in the fans, making it a fun experience. It's all that. And so I'm on the other side of the stadium, and they don't see the Broadway Built Bar. They don't see the Papa G. They don't see all that crap. But I'm still talking to them about the XFL. And I can tell you that it don't matter what tailgate I go to, they're all passionate. You know, you can say I'm the best fan in XFL football. Nobody's a bigger Battlehawk fan than I am. But it's bullcrap, because the next place or next person or next group that you talk to, they're rabid. And you go from tailgate to tailgate to tailgate. They're all Battlehawk, 100%. They're all in. Everybody's having a great time. How can you not want to be a part of that? And how can you not want to promote that? How can you blackball a group or a show or you name it? How can you blackball a group that's just trying to promote the XFL? I mean, it's all about everybody enjoying Battlehawk football.
It's all about controlling the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
They want to make sure.
Control the narrative of what? I mean, are we not promoting the Battlehawks?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We love it when we get players.
But that's the word right there. That is the single word right there. Control. It is all about control. Bottom line. That is all this has to do with is control. Is having control over everything.
My thing is this. When you have guys like Trey Watson, Akeem Williams, Kevin Atkins that are glad to be a part of it because they want to hear from the fans. They want them to be, they want to be seen. That's something that helps the league, that helps it grow.
Why would you not want the fan base to get to know the players? And that's all we're trying to do. Bring the players to the fan base.
Who is doing it. It is about who is doing it. That is what it's about. It is about control and the who. That is it.
We interviewed Kevin Atkins last week and Trey Watson. And I thought the interviews were outstanding. And those guys were awesome. And so why would you not week to week to week to week want to promote your players and get to know all of them, get to know their background, get to know their families, get to know everything about them? Why would you want to go to your team and say, you cannot do interviews for this live show? What are you trying? What is that gaining? I don't understand it.
It's called control.
It's about making sure that chaos is controlled. And I can bet there were thousands of XFL outside of the XFL themselves, those that wanted to participate with the XFL, they all wanted to get involved. Because all they wanted to do was promote the league. Right? And so I find it funny. There's a kid and he does great work. I'm still trying to figure out how he does it. Like really deep. He's in on these transactions and everything, but he's a kid. And he was like, well, give him a chance because he's getting an opportunity. I'm like, usually if I was in this state, I'm a high school kid that I don't get news to put out. High school kid, putting it out, putting the news out there, right? I'm trying to figure out how he's getting this information. At least somebody within the league is helping him. And he is blowing up. That's great. But also at the same time, like you high school. Like I understand college people doing it because they can have time to do that. Shout out to Elvin Wilsmore over at XFL News Hub, right? Shout out to Sal Rico over at XFL Board. Doing an amazing job. These are young men in college, but they're doing this because they want to do it. They're not in high school. They're in college. Big. And I applaud these guys. And it's just like sometimes I'm like, we're not. It's gonna seem like I'm coming off. I'm a bitter man because I'm not getting the news. No. Sometimes I don't even want the news. I'll find a way to get the news, but I'm just trying to find out how are you getting these information. And we've been a group that's been wanting information from the league just so we can put it out. Put it out for you. That's what we're here for.
We got more response on the Atkins and Trey Watson interview than you can imagine. Getting to know the players. And so we were pumped after last Wednesday night, because we're thinking, oh my God, line up this guy, line up this guy, line up this guy. We are going to show the fan base who these players are. How do you suppose it feels to somebody that's promoting the XFL and wants it to succeed to have somebody come in and say, you're not going to do interviews with them anymore? Come on now. Come on. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Let me say hey. Maybe instead of worrying about everything that we're doing, maybe they should worrying about our tailgate and how much better our tailgate is compared to theirs. Maybe let's worry about how shitty the food is at the Dome. And so let's worry about maybe how people are taking condiments from the stadium to take for their tailgate, okay?
Let's talk.
Hey, that's a struggle, man. That's a struggle. That's a struggle, Amanda. That's a struggle.
Let's talk about that for a second. Okay. I'm a season ticket holder. You know, I'm proud of my seats. I'm in the lower bowl, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter whether I go to a Blues game, whether I go to a soccer game, whether I go to a Cardinals game, I can get chicken tenders, hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza, nachos, super nachos, you name it. Across the board, I can get anything I want to get, right? So here I am. I'm sitting at a Battlehawks game, and we got 38,000 people there, twice what the soccer stadium has, and the soccer stadium has food from all over the world. We're talking, God, you fill in the blank, right? Okay, I go to a Battlehawks game. Here's what the Dome offers me. They offer me a hot dog. They offer me a nacho with enough cheese to cover half of the nacho. They offer me a pretzel.
Chips in the bag.
And this pretzel, I swear to God, was made a week ago, because it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and I'm still trying to wash that bite of pretzel that I took on Saturday, down my throat, because it was made like a week ago. So here I am. I'm a season ticket holder sitting in the lower bowl and believe me, I'm not saying one bad thing about the fans of St. Louis, because the fans are showing up, and we're packing that Dome, and we're just as rabid from one side of the Dome to the other, one tailgate to the other. We're just as rabid as can be. But we get into the stadium, and what do we get for a choice of food? We get a hot dog. We get a nacho with maybe a little cheese. And we get a pretzel that was made a week ago. and not to say, here we are. It's been a 30-degree day. We've been tailgating all day long, freezing our ass off. So we get in. What's the specialty place that the line is twice as long as the rest of the line for the hot dog, pretzel, and the nacho? It's freaking Dippin' Dots. We're sitting there. We froze our ass off all day long. And the specialty that we get in that stadium is Dippin' Dots. Now, come on now.
But let me say this. When I went to Arlington, okay? When I went to Arlington and went to that game.
Yes.
And Dirty ordered nachos, okay? These nachos were buffalo chicken nachos, and they looked amazing. Amazing. And they also had another sidebar that had like salsa and sour cream. And then Dave ordered a quesadilla, and there was all the sides for that, right? Then after that, when my dad and I went to DC, they had barbecue places and they had burgers and they had all these options of different places, right? And we come to St. Louis with 38,000 people and you offer 3 things. Not just that, when I went to Iowa, okay, where I'm from, okay, we would go to Ida Grove to see my cousin's son play basketball.
1,200
right?
population, 1,200.
Population of 1,200 people, right? We go, they had more options at that high school concession stand, people, than they did at this America Center Dome for this Battlehawks game. I'm sorry, but if you want to charge what you're charging for season ticket holders to go to this game to see all the Battlehawks games, that's a joke. That's a joke. And if you want to use COVID as an excuse, but you want to have people arm in arm and have bathrooms look like sewage, don't come at me and tell me that that's because of COVID. That's not because of COVID. If that's because of COVID, then you're going to have people behind the concession stands wearing gloves and not giving me a little Dixie cup of cheese, okay, with my bag of chips for my nachos with no jalapenos. Come at me again, and I'm telling you, I'm a girl from Iowa that likes my nachos. And I'm telling you right now, my nachos in Ida Grove, Iowa look better than the nachos here in St. Louis, Missouri. I will not have it.
And so as we talk about the Dome, okay, I understand we no longer have the Rams. So we no longer have the requirement of the top 10 stadium in the NFL. Okay, so we haven't had the Rams since 2015, 16, you name it.
Yeah, I'm coming for you.
How long ago did we know that we were going to be playing XFL games in the Dome? It's been a few months, right? Okay. So we're at the game on Saturday, and they have the men's restroom outside section 140, which is where I sit. They have the bathroom open at halftime, but right after halftime, they close it. Okay? So as you can imagine, you've got a crowd of 35,000 fans. You've got thousands of people sitting in your section. They come out to use the bathroom in the third quarter, and there's a lock on the bathroom. You can't even get in. So word so word travels, right? So the fourth quarter rolls around, and guys like me, I'm 58 years old, right? The minute I hit that cold air, I'm going to have to piss like a Russian racehorse, right? I'm just saying. So now I come out in the fourth quarter, and the lock is on the men's bathroom. Okay, right next to the men's is the women's, right? So you can imagine what's happening on the women's side. You ain't a kidding.
Perfect timing, producer. Perfect timing.
You ain't a kidding. There's like men going into the women's one after another. And these women are getting so pissed off because the guys are going in the bathroom, and it's like, sorry, we got to go. It's the way it is. So it's like, come on, guys. We got money from the Kroenke thing. And again, I just want to say one more time before I progress with the Kroenke thing. All you fans that continue to do the Kroenke sucks chant, get over it. Okay,
Stop
we are so past the Rams that this is all about the Battlehawks. So quit the Kroenke sucks chant. It's just it's weak. Okay, but anyway, so when you look at the money that St. Louis City got for the Kroenke settlement, it's not only the city of St. Louis, but the St. Louis County. It's the expansion of America Center. It's the owners of America Center. The money that was given to those guys is in the millions of dollars. The millions of dollars. You guys knew from day one, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months out, that America Center was going to be the home of the Battlehawks and that there was going to be 30, 40,000 fans in there. Are you telling me that you can't spend the money it takes to get the urinals to work, get the stools to work, to the point where you have to close the bathrooms before the game is over? Come on now. We have the best fans in the XFL. All you have to do is look at our attendance number to know how rabid we are for the XFL. This isn't anything to do with the XFL. We are Battlehawk fans that are there through thick and thin. Whoever is responsible for the dome.
Explore St. Louis.
We want more than a hot dog, pretzel, and nacho. We want more than men and women all using the women's because you guys can't spend the money to fix the bathrooms. Come on now. It's not that hard. Okay? It's not that hard.
Producer, take that down. You know doggone well it ain't no next. Stop it.
No,
playing games over there. You playing games. I see you playing games over there. He's playing games right now. Talking about some DC fan base. Shut up, producer. That's why you're in the back.
And listen, tailgaters.
I'm not
taking the
trying to be
condiments to the
difficult.
tailgate.
This isn't difficult. I mean, we tailgated before the game, and I got to say, between Kevin and I, we had it going on in our tailgate. We had the food going on. But that doesn't mean when I get in the stadium that I still don't want options. And I'm sorry, but if all you can give me is a pyramid of hot dogs that were probably made 3 hours ago and a nacho that had the cheese in containers that, I mean, come on, and a pretzel.
Okay, Dad, we got your pretzel. This pretzel, I got. My friend gave me a bite of. Gave me a bite
hey,
of
producer, mute Ed.
Dad, we got your pretzel.
Mute Ed now. Mute Ed. He went on the soapbox.
We got your pretzel cake. Okay, let's talk about week 6.
Yes, we got you. Because we don't have a lot of time. But guess what, Ed? I understand the pain. Because the problem is this, is that if you're saying this is about her and him and you and them, remember that promotion by Danny Garcia that's narrated properly by Danny? Make sure you're taking care of every one of them. Make sure you take care of every fan. That means you need to work with every city that you chose to be a part of this XFL. That means you got to work with stadiums. You got to work with city organizations. You got to work with the teams themselves. If you're trying to get ownership in this league, who gonna want that?
If you're going to put 38,000 butts in the seats.
What happened?
He did it again. Our producer's having way too much fun. He's having way too much fun now. Listen.
You muted him.
Listen, he muted him.
Yeah, he
muted you.
Muted you.
All right. We got to get to week 6 because we're in overtime. We're in overtime. They're playing the Vipers this week.
Mm-hmm.
And people that they have to worry about is Jeff Bidet right now, who has 5 touchdowns. That's good. That's going to be a key thing there. Got to remember Rod Smith, also top running back for the Vipers at this point. He's at 166 yards for the season. And he's like, yeah, well, that's not a lot. Yeah, that's true. But also you got to remember that they were really starting to build on this team now. You know what I mean? They're building off a win, so they are hungry enough for another win against the Battlehawks this week, right? So also the play of Luis Perez, because baby, Brent Hundley is not going to be playing much longer in this league because Luis Perez is an alternative football quarterback. Like, he's a quarterback that you will want to start because he can get down the field. He can also make plays and get touchdowns. 805 yards passing so far this season, 8 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Those are the keys that they have to. That's what the people they have to stop in this upcoming matchup. Of course, on the defensive end, gotta look out for Maximilian Roberts. 5 sacks. Hey, if you want this offensive line, folks, if y'all want to see this Battlehawks offensive line get it together, you better stop Max Roberts and Vic Beasley, because they coming out for blood. Because you got that win.
Rely on the defense all the time.
Right, and you have to control the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Control the clock. You gotta win the possession game. You gotta win the possession clock game. Ed, what you got?
The Battlehawks are at a crossroads in their season, and I agree 100% with Anthony Beck. They are at a crossroads where, are they in the hunt for the playoffs or are they not? If they screw the pooch and not win the game against Vegas this weekend, then they're going to allow Seattle to take over control of the number 2 seed.
Yep.
And keep in mind, even if Houston, you got because it meant for DC. If Houston loses to DC on Monday night, you know they're ready for blood come that following week when the Battlehawks travel to Houston.
Yeah,
they're there for blood. So regardless, that you have to beat Vegas this week. If you don't beat Vegas, you got to keep pushing them down so that way you keep Seattle below you. All right.
Yeah.
And San Antonio or Arlington, they're gonna be beating up each other. So that doesn't affect the Battlehawks in this case. But you also got to remember that Seattle is taking on an Orlando team that's 0-5. So a lot of us are gonna be thinking early, Seattle's gonna knock off Orlando. They're gonna knock them off pretty good, right? So that let's say that they get the dub. That means
Dirty can take his Danuch.
That'll mean, Seattle won despite Danucci. That's all I got to say.
Because when we learned that turnovers, it doesn't matter. Because 4 turnovers against the best team in the league, and they still won. So that means it doesn't matter. Yeah, and a lot of us, David, are hoping. We hoping for that Orlando pull off the upset. Right now, they're going with Quentin Dormady at QB1. He had a great game against the Vipers. Didn't throw any picks, and they were able to keep them in the game the entire game for the entire 60 minutes. And that is another thing, is playing a full 60 minutes. They hadn't done that. The only time they've done that is against Arlington. That's it. That means you got to do this again. Now you got to do this against your division opponent, the Vipers. And so you got to make, and the penalties, reduce the penalties. We gotta be strong, but also you gotta be smart. That is the main key here.
And seriously, I want to say this too before we go real quick. Shout out to all the fans that we met, like that Dirty and I met at the game. Like literally every other section, a fan was stopping Dirty and I and was talking to us and giving the show a shout out. And I mean, it was awesome to talk with you all. And I had the pleasure of meeting some people like Zach. He was such a nice guy. And I mean, it was just so nice to meet all of you. So thank you so much. And it was really cool to get to meet you. And to the new people that are watching our show and the new people that have joined the page, thank you so much also. Yeah.
That's the music you chose, producer.
And being on the other side, the other side of the stadium, I can tell you that B-Hawk Live is only continuing to grow, baby.
Mm-hmm. That is like Holiday Inn style music.
But that's how you sounded. That's what my guy went by.
Isn't it?
So everything, hey, thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. Daddy Ed, always a pleasure. Thank you. Amanda, we made a right choice bringing you on board with us.
Ugh, I don't know.
Especially Daddy Ed.
Boy.
I love my daddy.
I know one thing. I'm hungry as hell, man, and I'm ready to go.
Hey, don't go to the dome.
Yeah, don't go to the dome. Get you
all
a hard
you're gonna get is a hot dog, nacho, or pretzel. That's all
I'm
you're
gonna get you a hard pretzel.
Hey, I'm going to White Castle before the game, so I can tear up a whole row of sections.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
White Castle over a week old pretzel. There you go.
hey, listen, folks. Tune in to if you get a chance, make sure you tune into all the shows around the Legion, and you can check out around all the entire league. We got Smoking Guns, you got X-Fan show, you got the B-Hawk Live show, you got the Rough 'em Up podcast, you got Standing Guard with Michael Lathrop, you got the Player 54 podcast, you got the Mark Cast, you got XFL Weekend Review with my guy Mark Perry. You know what I mean? So hey, we around. Hey, the XFL Insider podcast, shout out to them. Do an amazing job over at the Ambush Sports Network. Did you really just do that to me?
Yeah.
I get the Oscar treatment?
Hot water.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.